10 Reasons Not to Use WordPress. The first time I made a website was in 1998, 24 years ago, for an advertising agency in Madrid where I was working at the time, at a time when only a few knew what a website was. Some of those you spoke to wondered why they needed one, a web page, when you had to do a magic ritual just to connect to the internet and to access most websites at the time. You had to wait several minutes in front of the screen and you had time to smoke a couple of cigarettes until you could access the contents, and UX and UI concepts did not exist yet, but a good website was just summed up as good design. Perhaps for reasons like these, I am in favor of making websites optimized in every way. I like to make the code for each website, and customize it for each client, from zero to hero. Because each client is different and that has to be reflected on the website of each company, the unique personality of the brand. I believe that the web is a window to your company, a window that, thanks to technology, can be accessed from anywhere on the planet, and that is the image that our potential clients will have of our company. So you can decide whether you want to be the same as 2,934,823 companies, more like a follower of other brands, or do you want to be different and be a leader? My goal is not to convince anyone to use or not to use the WordPress CMS, simply to inform you of the disadvantages of using it, and you can decide whether or not it's still worth it. I do not work with WordPress by choice, although I have worked with it, and I have many reasons why I never work with this content manager. WordPress isn't safe. WordPress is very popular, and that is precisely why it is among the most hacked managers. It is really insecure and generic. Today I will share with you 10 reasons why you should not use WordPress, although I could give you many more. What is a CMS? A CMS is a content management system that allows you to create, organize, publish and delete content from your website in a fast and apparently simple way. WordPress is currently the most used CMS. More than 60 million people around the world use it, representing 35% of all websites published today. Why is WordPress the most used CMS in the world? It is the most used because companies really do not know what is behind it, and companies that sell you websites created with WordPress either have no idea or are really looking to earn quick and easy money without paying attention to quality. But the reality is that being so easy to install and not requiring programming skills to use and update content is an easy sell. Behind this simplicity, there are many reasons why you should not use it. Although they tell you that some important companies use it, don't trust them. It's a scam. There are also millions of smokers in the world, and it does not mean that smoking is healthy. WordPress is not optimal. In reality, large companies do not use WordPress. Behind large projects there are teams of programmers and designers who guarantee the quality of your project that content managers such as WordPress cannot give you. Even for a professional who knows their way around code, using WordPress is a waste of time, and ends up creating a Frankenstein's monster. 1. Safety. Being the most used attracts the most hackers, making this CMS the most insecure of all content management systems. Do you know how many hackers there are at this very moment trying to hack a WordPress website? It is quite common to find pages made in WordPress that have been hacked, with viruses, or with the loss of all data. 2. Instability. Most plugins are created by hobbyists or beginners, so it is common to run into bugs and errors. In addition, many are abandoned and, since they do not have support and updates, they are susceptible to point 1, being hacked and leaving an open door for restless criminals. As they are not codes created by professionals and many of them lack maintenance, they make WordPress websites the most unstable on the internet. 3. Support. Did you know that there is no official development team behind WordPress? There is no way for someone to answer an email or a call because there is nowhere to do it. If you have a problem with your website, it is most likely that you will not have a legal person in charge to solve the problem. If you pray and light a candle, maybe you will be lucky if someone in a forum helps you. 4. Cursed plugins. Plugins are one of the biggest problems, as I said in point 1, since you don't know who is behind their creation, and the companies that sell you websites made in WordPress use them, and I have no doubt in nearly all cases. They can contain malicious viruses that will put your security at risk, that can cause conflicts with other plugins and cause your website to malfunction, that can be abandoned you in terms of support and leave doors open to pirates, slow down your website, and steal your information. Excessive use of plugins generating queries to the database will cause your server's data transfer limit to be finished sooner than expected, or overload your CPU and RAM memory. 5. Updates. WordPress needs to be constantly updated, and it is common for many things to stop working as they conflict with those cursed plugins. This means that developers must constantly repair your website so that it works correctly, generating absolutely unnecessary extra expenses. 6. Originality. The use of WordPress ends with originality since its design is based on templates that are basically all the same. You can also find a cafeteria, a butcher shop, or even your competition using the same design as your website. You will not be able to complain, since the design is not yours. It is a standard model that on many occasions violates copyright, which is the exact opposite of good branding. 7. Design. For a self-respecting front-end designer, WordPress can become a real nightmare since, for example, changing the color of a font can change the color of something that we don't want to change, so making even small customizations to a website will be like looking for a needle in a haystack, multiplying the hours of work required with little to show for it. Of course, every change you make will be deleted when you update WordPress, which is why many developers cancel the updates, leaving your website unprotected and completely vulnerable. For hackers, it is super easy to locate websites that lack protection. Just by seeing the appearance, it is easy to know. 8. Extra code. The themes and plugins that you buy are not tailor-made for your website, so they have a large amount of code that you do not need, which will make your website slower, more difficult for Google to read, and will take up a lot of space. More space on the server. There will be problems not only with speed, caching, or SEO, but also with the extra code, making this CMS the least optimal of all ways to develop a website. 9. Usability. Everyone who has ever used WordPress already knows the endless menus. If you want to change something about the plugin you use and that option is not available, you will need to hire an expert programmer to make the changes or directly buy a new plugin that allows you to make that change, but you may have to update again. 10. Code. There are plugins still in existence that were created with obsolete programming languages many years ago, with 5, 10, or more variations, each created in a different version. Also, if you plan to migrate servers, this will be an adventure, so you may have to marry your suppliers for life, and use that same server forever. With a personalized website, migration can be a matter of minutes, but with WordPress it will be a serious headache that can last days or longer. As I told you at the beginning, I am in favor of making personalized websites, and surely now you can understand a little better why. Especially, as a branding professional, WordPress is the opposite of best practice I would recommend to my clients. Your website is the image of your brand, the face of your company for millions of people who are previously unaware of your business and your products. This is your greatest competitive opportunity to reach the global market, so you should choose what you want to show your potential clients, not WordPress.